love me now. I am worthy of this love. I'm gonna let Spirit love me now. I'm worthy of this love. Spirit loves me. I know that. Spirit loves me. That's a fact. Gonna let Spirit love me now. I'm worthy of this love. I'm gonna let Spirit love me now. I'm worthy of this love. When I'm down, I turn to you. When I'm down, see me through. I'm gonna let Spirit love me now. I'm worthy of this love. Gonna let Spirit love me now. I'm worthy of this love. I surrender every little thing. I surrender. Hear me sing. Let Spirit love me now. I'm worthy of this love. I'm gonna let Spirit love me now. I'm worthy of this love. 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 Let's open up. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. Amen.
Ahava, good morning, Ahava. See, if I just say good morning enough times, then eventually the sound will be amplified. Let's give some love to our musicians, yes? Yes. So grateful to have Joan Brannon sitting in on percussion today. Our keyboardist, Belle, give her some love. Our feature vocalist today is Margot Buchanan. Yes. I sound a little loud. I don't know if it's just to myself, but if you could just turn it down a little bit, because I'm trying to speak softly because I sound so loud, and it's hard to hold that back. It's against my nature, yes. So good morning, Ahava Center for Spiritual Living. Ahava is the Hebrew word for love, and we gather every Sunday knowing that love is That's right, always, always. I am Reverend Rainbow, so grateful to serve as your spiritual director and welcome you here on this beautiful Sunday morning. Yes, we are a conscious community committed to curiosity so that we may provide a loving space to be reminded of the truth of who we are. We are an open and affirming community, so whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual path of discovery, know that you are absolutely welcome here. Yes? If you are joining us online, thank you for being a part of our global virtual community. Make sure to say hello in the chat today. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And let's give some love to our volunteers on the media team. So we have Nasima on camera today, yes. David Hiles is our tech team media coordinator on sound. We have Amy Stills, and it looks like Jean back there is learning slides and live stream as well. So thank you, thank you. We invite you to check in. Take out your phones. Just silence them first. Let people know where you are today. Take pictures, take video clips. If you're online, hit that like, share, subscribe button, comment. Do all the things. That helps us spread the word and activate those algorithms so we show up more for people who may be searching and looking for what we offer here today. We also want to tell you how you can get even more plugged in. We have a community group on Facebook that you can engage with, and you can also text the word YES to 87447 to receive our Sunday morning texts with our affirmations, with any reminders such as Potluck Sunday, and if there's any changes due to weather, etc. So if you're not receiving our texts, that's a way that you can get back on that list, yes. We are so grateful for each and every person here, and especially if you are here for the first time. Know that your presence here makes a difference. So do we have anyone here for the first time? Second time? First time, second time, three. All right, let's give them some love. Welcome back, yes. And core council member will be bringing you a magazine and a connection card to get plugged in if you haven't received that already. So again, thank you for being here today. We are so grateful for the many hearts and hands that come together and create this beloved community. We've already acknowledged many of those folks already, but I want to also shout out that we have Heather and Carrie with our youth today, and many folks serving with greeting and hospitality, things behind the scenes. So let's just give a warm round of applause for all of our volunteers, yes? And now's the time in service where we get to acknowledge that we are one life expressing as the many. And so I invite you to place your hands over your heart and to turn to someone and to say, thank you for being a reflection of me. Thank you for being a reflection of me. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And we have an amazing vision and purpose here. So I invite you to repeat after me. We are an inclusive community. Committed to global transformation through personal evolution. And our purpose, let's do this one all together. Ready? Wake up, step up, and make a difference. That's right. That's what we are here to do every day. Today's affirmation, I will read and invite you to affirm after me. Today I surrender to the presence of God within me as me. Today I surrender to the presence of God within me and as me. Yes. And let us now take a deep breath as we invite in that heartbeat of Mother Earth, calling forth our ancestors and guides to be with us now. In the warm embrace of this sacred land, our hearts overflow with deep love and gratitude to this land's ancestral guardians, the Yochi, Osage, Cherokee, Shawnee, Hopewell, and Adena nations. By acknowledging these stories, we celebrate the strength, adaptability, and unique contributions of each community to the vibrant mosaic of our shared heritage. We humbly acknowledge the historical wounds and traumas that have touched and continue to touch the lives of Indigenous communities. In this present moment, our commitment springs from a well of love, respect, and the unwavering recognition of the inherent sovereignty of Indigenous peoples. We pledge to be attentive listeners, amplifiers of Indigenous voices, and perpetual learners about the rich diversity of Indigenous cultures, histories, and contemporary challenges. So I invite you to take another deep breath. Yes. As we move now into our centering song and our opening prayer, which will be led this morning by our practitioner, Patty Cooper.
In the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace. We are held in the hands of grace. Sing it with me. We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace. We are held in the hands of grace.
Grace, love, we are held. We are held in oneness because there is only one. One energy, one mind, one source of everything that is, was, or ever will be. Today I know that one is abundance. I know it as order, love, and power. Knowing that that is the truth of the one, I know it is the truth of me, and it is absolutely the truth of each person hearing my voice right now. Love, peace, power, abundance, order. And all of this is a blessing. I bless this service. I bless this day. I bless our amazing minister, Reverend Rainbow. I bless all the people who come together and create this wonderful thing called Ahava Center. We are so blessed. And even in the moments where we feel chaos or fear, we know that the higher truth is blessing, goodness, love. So I breathe into that, and I let it be by saying, and so it is.
We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace. We are held
Welcome.
You're welcome. And this is Stillness Speaks by Eckhart Tolle. Whenever any kind of deep loss occurs in your life, such as loss of possessions, your home, a close relationship, or loss of your reputation, job, or physical abilities, something inside you dies. You feel diminished in your sense of who you are. There may also be a certain disorientation. Without this, who am I? When a form that you had once unconsciously identified with as a part of yourself leaves you or dissolves, that can be extremely painful. It leaves a hole, so to speak, in the fabric of your existence. When this happens, don't deny or ignore the pain or the sadness that you feel. Accept that it is there. Beware of your mind's tendency to construct a story around that loss in which you are assigned the role of victim. Fear, anger, resentment, or self-pity are the emotions that go with that role. Then become aware of what lies behind those emotions as well as behind the mind-made story. That hole, that empty space. Can you face and accept that strange sense of emptiness? If you do, you may find that it is no longer a fearful place. You may be surprised to find peace emanating from it. Whenever death occurs, whenever a life form dissolves, God, the formless and unmanifested, shines through the opening left by the dissolving form. That is why the most sacred thing in life is death. That is why the peace of God can come to you through the contemplation and acceptance of death.
Bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. All I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through crying, I'm through waiting, I'm through hoping against all hope. I'm through longing for something gone that'll never return. I think I finally learned, so bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. Oh, I'm kind of ready for something to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through grieving, I'm through dreaming that the life I had is ever coming back. I'm through longing for something gone that'll never return. I think I finally learned, so bring it on. Everything new, oh, everything different, everything true. I'm getting ready for my next thing to do. I know it's gonna be everything new. I've survived many times before, broken hearts, slamming doors. I'll be alright like I was before, just as I did back then. Gonna rise again. Oh, so bring it on. Everything new, everything different, something new.
Woo! Yes, beautiful. Let's take a deep breath. Already, so much healing and gifts we have been given through the words that have been spoken, the prayers, the music, the reading. So let us now settle into this now moment. So we are wrapping up this month's series, The Flow of Coming and Going, where we've acknowledged that life has ups and downs, ebbs and flows. Things come into our lives and go. And through it all, we are here to stay true. Stay true to ourselves, stay true to that divine nature, and to stay true to love as our anchor through it all. So today's topic is staying true to you in the new. The world around us is changing rapidly. And I know many of us have opinions about some of those changes. And sometimes things can seem so fast that it feels very unsettling, right? How to remain grounded and anchored through all of this when sometimes we feel like we could barely catch our breath between what is occurring perhaps personally with others in the community and as a collective. New challenges, unexpected detours. And yet in the middle of all this movement and change, we are called to something powerful, to stay true to who we are. To ignite that light from within and let it shine so bright that we become the highest vibration in the room. So we can walk forward letting love lead the way and allow everything to rise to its highest potential. Even as the world around us seems to be in chaos, we can acknowledge, as we can look back, as that song told us, in our lives, moments of vast change, and yet we're still here, and we've come out on the other side. And we've come out on the other side changed, and perhaps if we were willing, we come out on the other side stronger, more aware of who we are, and more resilient to show up and face the challenges of an ever-changing world by remembering the light and the love that we are, and that we can carry that with us no matter what is going on out there. We can turn within to that place within us that has never been hurt, harmed, or hindered. And yet life will continue to show up. Life just keeps lifing. And it's up to us to choose how we are going to respond, not react, but respond to those changes and challenges. And choose to allow that as a catalyst for our own and our collective growth and expansion. It requires us reaching beyond and stretching past the boundaries of our safe and comfortable world sometimes, which can feel scary, yes? Most of us, even like myself, who's pretty comfortable with change, kind of can hit a limit and be like, all right, that's enough change in one month. Yet, pausing, turning within, using our spiritual practices, turning off the news if needed, and realigning with that truth within and listening to that still small voice to guide us will allow us to keep moving forward in that grounded and anchored state. Because although we love the comfort and familiar shores, the tide is always ebbing and flowing. And spirit doesn't live on the comfort of the sandy shoreline. Spirit calls us into the deep waters. And that's where the miracles, the shift in perspective, the change, the transformation occurs. When we allow those waves to topple us over, and then we still stand up strong and say, I'm still here. Many, if not all, faith traditions, religious teachings, indigenous wisdom has a story that illuminates this journey. There's a beautiful parable in the Hebrew scripture that's the story of Abram. Before he becomes Abraham, father of nations, God calls him out of his homeland and everything that's familiar and comfortable and says, go from your country, your people, your father's household to the land I will show you. So notice he said, the land I will show you. Not, here's a detailed map, here's everything that's going to happen, just follow this plan and trust me, it's all right there, laid out, right? He says, to the land that I will show you. They didn't have, hey Siri, give me directions to this new land, right? It will be revealed along the way. And what does he do? Abram, he goes in faith, in trust, and he steps into the unknown. And because of that willingness to step out of his comfort zone, a whole new destiny unfolds. And not just for him, right, but for generations to come. And are we not called to do the same? And often not just once in our life. At least that's been my experience. There's been many. Here's the next step. Here's the next opportunity to stretch into that expanded territory, and it will be shown. But it starts as just like a glimmer, a little like, there's something more. It's not quite a fully formed vision yet, but yet there's something within me, that urge of the divine spirit that says, go. And I follow. It could be a new job, a new relationship, a creative endeavor. It could be a path forward in some way that is not yet clear, but there's something within you that knows that growth, expansion is occurring, that there's something within you to express in a new way. Perhaps it's a new way of being or showing up in a relationship or a pattern that you have perhaps felt stuck in, or a cycle. Showing up with the boldness and the strength of love as your guide. So we're talking about growth and expansion, and it's uncomfortable. It means shedding our old skin, our old stories, old beliefs, and perhaps even old identities that we have known ourselves to be for years and years. Those roles that we have played that suddenly shift. Yet when we feel stuck in who we think we are, we block that divine presence from revealing itself as us, through us, as an evolving expression of the One. And that is the truth of who we are. The nature of life itself is always growing and expanding. And if that's the nature of the universe, the cosmos, the galaxies, so true is it of you. But we have this thing, right, as humans, our brain, our mind, that construct of patterns that we call the ego, that is going to cling to anything unlike its current story, even if that story is painful. it prefers comfort. So it takes something greater. It takes us dropping into that higher mind and that faith and courage to know something new beyond the lack and limitation that our thoughts will have us cycle through. You know, we've talked about that metaphor of an iceberg and how you can only see the tip and think that's all that there is. That's like our conscious mind, that 10%. But underneath that, the 90% is the subconscious mind of all of our stories and patterns and beliefs. And it's been programmed like a computer since we were in utero. So I don't know about y'all, but you can imagine all those things that you have heard subconsciously since you were a baby and absorbed. It is not until now that we wake up and are conscious that we can start to change and shift and create new patterns. But often what happens is we take one step forward, 2 steps forward, we take a class, we say an affirmation, we speak a prayer, and then everything, unlike the truth that we desire, comes up to be healed, but we can see it as, oh, I'm a failure, never mind. Oh, I can't, right? This wave comes up and it's like, we get taken out. But it doesn't have to be true. It doesn't have to be true once we realize that's part of the process of growth and evolution. We can turn to each other in a spiritual community. We can lean on our spiritual practitioners and other leaders and friends and guides and spiritual counselors and coaches and therapists, folks that can know the truth for us when we forget. Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of the Science of Mind teaching, which is our primary teaching here, he says, we should learn to trust life. We should learn to trust it with the enthusiasm of a child. We should enter into the joy of living in conviction that we are one with the eternal good. So as we remember that there's something greater going on than just our limited thinking, we can surrender and remind ourselves that we are backed by, we are sourced by the very essence of the divine itself, which is good, which is all powerful, all loving, all knowing. So of course, we too will be cared for and provided for along the journey. But the trap is when we are still in the journey and think that it's the destination. And then we fall back to those old patterns and restart and restart. It takes trust. And what is trust if not the courage to step forward without knowing every detail of what's ahead? And beyond that comfort zone is where we meet the next evolution of ourselves, where we stop playing small and begin to dance with possibility. The unknown is not a barren wasteland. It is a fertile ground where new seeds get planted. And as we continue on this journey, and as we're seeing now, as nature reveals the beauty and glory of spring, they begin to blossom anew. Are we willing to stay rooted in the truth of who we are and remain open at the top? Allowing ourselves to evolve and not cling to attachments of who we think we are or how we think it should be or what we think it should look like or what we think others should or shouldn't do. We can't control that. We just simply have to trust and let go. And then step into that place, that powerful place of co-creation with Spirit. That surrendered flow where we get to co-create with the divine of our being and set new intentions and hold the vision for what we desire for our lives and for the collective. We get to create that life rich with wonder, the curiosity of a child, a life of fulfillment, of purpose, of service. We get to be the love and the strength for others. when they are still in a place of survival, right? If you're living in a spot of survival, of where's my next meal, where's my next warm place to sleep, those needs must be met first before we can awaken to this idea of walking in possibility. So sometimes it takes us being that loving guide for others. So with this practice and stepping into the unknown, with every evolution of ourselves, we then have learned and grown and have new skills and insights and wisdom to pass along to others that may be 1-2 steps behind in their journey. And not that this is like a hierarchical of good, bad, right? I don't want us to think, well, I'm this evolved and you're there. It just is, right? And like there's always someone there and someone there. Wherever we are on our journey of evolution, when we come to experience something new about ourselves, I find the only way to truly know that I have learned that lesson, for lack of better words, or experienced that, embodied that new insight or wisdom, is in reflection of being of service to someone else. And seeing or knowing someone else in a situation where I was and saying, oh, I remember when I was in that place. Mentally, physically, whatever it may be. The doubt, the fear, the people-pleasing, whatever those patterns are. And then when people show up in our lives, that we can recognize that in ourselves, if we are truly walking this journey and in a place of wholeness and healing along that path, if we are ready to, we can then be that guide for others. Now, what happens sometimes is we are attracted to people along this journey, and we're still working out those wounds or those traumas, and then we're just kind of become button pushers and triggers. From that, there will be a moment of awakening, and we will wake up from that pattern and say, this doesn't have to be. This is not the truth of who I am. And then we can walk forward and be that guide for others. So I just want to highlight a couple of other ways that this growth and this journey is demonstrated by many wisdom teachings. So in Buddhism, we see this principle embodied in the life of Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, sometimes words, who left his royal life, right, seeking the truth, and he had to abandon all comfort and royal lifestyle and certainty, stepping into the vast unknown in order to wake up and to experience that insight and enlightenment. And through that journey, he became what we now know as the Buddha. So he reminds us that awakening comes when we release attachments to the familiar and allow that path to unfold. And in many indigenous wisdom teachings, that same practice is shown through the vision quest, right? That rite of passage that many native traditions, First Nations peoples, indigenous cultures around the world have a similar rite of passage where you have to leave your community, go out into the wilderness, into nature in solitude, seek guidance from spirit in order to deeply trust and know that you are led and guided, not by what others tell you. You have to go out with nothing and allow spirit to show the way. As I was saying that, it reminds me of how so many reality TV shows now have become popular around this theme, right? But not quite in such a sacred way. We've kind of, but The Naked and Afraid, Survivor, those kind of things, right? But I'm like saying that, I was like, oh, that's like, our culture is still curious about this idea, right? We're fascinated by it because we want to watch, well, how will these people survive? But what's missing is the sacredness of the practice, the why behind the practice, not just to go out and say, I'm strongest and I know these skills and I'm going to out-survive that person. The surrender of spirit as our guide and letting something be revealed. I don't know, maybe I need to make a pitch for a new reality show. Consciousness is evolving. I think people are more interested in content that's not so, I'll just leave it at that, not so. Okay, so this journey that we hear about, that we read about also in great myths and stories a long time, it requires that deep trust where there's no guarantees, no safety nets, and yet through that experience, profound wisdom and transformation emerge. And nature is also always providing us examples of this. As we know, what's often shared through this season is the journey of the caterpillar, completely dissolving, totally breaking down in order to become something new, that beautiful monarch. So today I invite you to listen deeply to your inner wisdom. Where are you being called beyond the familiar? What new territory is Spirit nudging you towards? And can you, like Abram, the Buddha, and those who have walked that sacred path before us, say yes without even seeing the full picture? And sometimes life occurs in such a way that we feel like we may have no other choice but to walk that path if we want to keep moving forward. When great loss, sudden loss occurs, we stay the course, lean into our spiritual practices, and allow that divine wisdom to guide us. Be willing to risk the discomfort of change, trusting and knowing that Spirit's got you. Remain anchored in the truth of who you are, and allow yourself to expand into that new territory. So let us remember, especially in these times of political upheaval and uncertainty, that the collective consciousness is evolving, and we are at choice now. We can choose love or we can choose fear. And those structures that seem to be crumbling can be providing fertile ground for something greater and new to emerge if we've put our energy and our love and our intention in that. And if we ask what is mine to do and see what is ours to contribute to the new evolution of our society and humanity, letting love lead the way. We are co-creating this world together, and our faith, our willingness to walk into the unknown with trust is a vital part of that transformation. So let us walk together in faith and trust, allowing divine love to be the guide, and embody that as we step courageously into the unknown. Yes? All right, let's pray it up. Take a deep breath. What I know right here, right now, is that there is one infinite intelligence, this energy, this source back of all things, that is pure potentiality. I know that this life, call it God, call it spirit, call it universe, is wisdom, is power, is love. And therefore, knowing that there is only one, I know that this is the truth of who I am. It is the truth of each and every person, every being. We are one. So in this moment, I speak this truth, knowing that wisdom and love guide the way. That each of us are able and willing to stay rooted, fully grounded, and anchored in and as the love that we are. And though the tides of life may ebb and flow, with great perspective, we can trust and know that everything is unfolding perfectly in our life, in the life of the collective. So I claim and know right here, right now, that wisdom and love is the guide. And I know love and only love is unfolding right here, right now. I trust, I listen, and I surrender to a greater knowing within. Always asking, what is mine to do? Who am I to be? And what am I becoming in this moment? So grateful to know this truth, so grateful to speak this word now on behalf of the entire collective. As I release it now into the action of the law that always says, yes, my beloved, yes, it is done and it is so. And together we say, and so it is, yes. So let us now affirm and sing this prayer. I invite you to stand if you feel comfortable.
We let the love wash over us. We let
So right where you are, we're going to move into our moment of embodiment, and I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable and take a moment to notice the energy in your body. What sensations are you experiencing? And if you notice any spots of tension that wants to be released or joy that wants to be expressed, as the music kicks up again, I invite you to begin to explore movement, moving your body in order to fully integrate today's message and wisdom. And as that practice of listening to that guidance within without thinking like, oh, I'm going to do the shuffle now. It's not that kind of dance, right? It's listening to that organic, innate wisdom moving from the core, from our center, however your body wants to express this day. Whatever you are feeling, allow it. Remember to breathe. Tap into your inner self. Embody the love of who you are in whatever ways Spirit is moving you now. Just taking another moment. Deep breath. And then again, finding stillness. And observing, noticing how you feel now. What feels different? Any tingling sensations? Do you feel more alive? What do you notice now in your body? And another deep breath. Honor yourself for giving yourself that gift of practice. I know it can be uncomfortable. And that's what we're talking about today. Stepping into the discomfort, and through that, something new might emerge. See, my words sometimes, new might emerge. It's a new thing. And now we're going to move into our moment of connection and integration. And I invite you to find someone in the room and to share what is moving your heart today, what is moving through you. Anything that you have been touched by so far in the service, take a moment and share that with another. And if you're online, let us know in the chat what's moving you this day. Make sure you switch, and every person has a chance to share, so switch if you haven't yet. Take another moment together. Begin to wrap up your share. Thank your partner. Or say to be continued over the potluck. Lots of good connections happening, yes? Deep breath. Yes. So much amazing energy in here today, y'all. I don't know. Hopefully you're feeling it online too. Feel those vibes. It's just, whew. It's, one of those weeks where the past couple of days I've heard from about 5 people who, or have a cold or flu or something going on, and I start to think, is anyone going to be there? So thank you all for being here today and bringing such amazing energy. And for those in our community who are watching at home, because you may be experiencing some dis-ease, know that the love in this room is carrying you, and you are whole, and you are healed, and so it is. So we're going to move into our offering now. Did we do? Yeah, no, that just confused me. Whoa, that's not right. Okay, we're going to move into our offering now. And before we do that, it's the last Sunday of the month. And the last Sunday of every month, we highlight a community organization that is doing good in our community. So today, we are going to get to hear from Mary Kate from Build. Come on up, Mary Kate. Build, yes. So Build is an organization that we have recently joined, and I've given Mary Kate more than just the regular 2 minutes or so. So get comfortable in your seat and really listen, because there's invitation for all of us in this sharing as well.
Thank you so much, and thank you all for welcoming me to be with you this Sunday. It's been lovely.
Yes.
I am on staff with Build. Build stands for Building a United Interfaith Lexington Through Direct Action.
Yes. Woo woo.
And I want you all to know that the acronym was made well before my time. I've been with Build about 6 years, and Build is 23 this year.
All right. Woo.
So it's a bit of a mouthful. But Build is made up of 26 different spiritual communities, faith communities, places of worship in Lexington, from all sorts of different spiritual traditions. We have Catholics, we have Quakers, we have Unitarians. And now you all are our first Center for Spiritual Living.
Yes.
So we are, within Build, thrilled to have you as a part of our community. And what we're doing in Build is really, since the beginning, looking at Lexington and going, this doesn't look like love. This doesn't look like the world that we are called to be in and to build. And that comes from all sorts of different parts of different people's spiritual practices and journeys and traditions and scriptures. So we like to reference from the Hebrew scripture Micah 6:8 that calls us to love justice, do mercy, walk humbly. But it comes from everywhere. And Build came out of this place of different peoples across Lexington of faith going, wait a minute, we are not loving our neighbors in Lexington the way that we need to. For myself personally, I'm really, I'm going to go with convicted by the Dr. Cornel West quote that justice is what love looks like in public. Right. And so Build is a way for different communities, spiritual communities, to do the work of loving in public. And we know that we can't do it alone. I don't know if any of you all have had success calling the mayor's office and going, hey, I am not into the lack of affordable housing and you got to change it. Did that work for anybody? Okay, because it definitely didn't work for me. And so Build is both an understanding that the community in Lexington does not look like the love we want it to and we need it to, and that alone as a single congregation or a single community, we can't make it look like love. We need each other, and that we need people power to get it done. We know in our society, we're pretty familiar with how money gets things done, right? We could put enough lobbyists to get things through if you've got enough money. I do not have enough money. I don't think you all have enough money. None of the Build congregations have enough money. What we do have is people power. And so we bring out the average Sunday attendance of all these 26 congregations to make real changes in the community. And that starts with listening. In the fall, a couple of you, Ron and Kathy, participated in these house meetings, these listening sessions to share what's going on. And then you all came in November to vote on what we were going to work on this year. We voted on renters' concerns. I'm a renter. I've been hearing renting stories all winter, and each one is exactly the same and worse than the one I've heard before. And so we've been working on that all winter. What does it look like to love renters publicly? What policy does that look like? What programs does that look like? And from there, next Tuesday is our rally. We're going to gather together again and say, here's what we've learned. Here's what we're feeling. Here's what we're called to. And here's how we're going to move forward. Because on the 6th of May, we hold our big Nehemiah Action. This is an event that happens each year. And it's everybody who's been involved in Build all year, bringing out their 3 or more, their family, their friends, their colleagues, to turn our small communities, loving our neighbors, into a big voice for love. And using this method, Build's won all sorts of things in the past. One of our first victories was a drug treatment program in the women's jail. because we heard all sorts of stories in these house meetings, in our faith traditions, that everybody was, struggling. Somebody they loved was struggling with addiction. And when we looked into this, we found that in the men's jail, there was a drug treatment program. And so men who were incarcerated and struggling with addiction could go and get the help that they needed so that when they were released, they could come back into society without that burden of addiction to the same level. But there wasn't a program for women. And so women across all the different Build congregations who are struggling with addiction were cycling in and out of jail as their families really suffered, as they were not able to love the way that they needed to. And so we won a program for the women's jail so that they could have drug treatment too. That was one of our first victories. We've also worked on winning restorative practices in schools. We've pushed for violence reduction program. The number of people shot and killed in Lexington is half of what it was 4 years ago because Bill pushed to get a program that worked in other places, not a program that our city officials were just making up. Personally, the one that I've been most involved in is our affordable housing campaign. So this story starts in 2007. People were looking at each other in all the different Build congregations and going, I can't afford my housing. I'm moving back in with my parents. My mom is moving back in with me. I'm moving to Paris so I can afford something, or I'm this close to homelessness. So we decided to work on it. And it took 7 years of growing from almost 1,000 people at our big Nehemiah Action in the spring to almost 2,000 people in 2014 for us to win an affordable housing fund at the city. And in 2014, they committed to put $2 million a year, which is about 200 families, into affordable housing. And that was our biggest victory to date. And then, of course, you all will remember that in 2020, everything just went completely upside down. And in that shift of everything going completely upside down, the mayor decided to slash funding for affordable housing by 90%. So Build responded. And we couldn't respond in the ways that we were used to because gathering in a space like this was not going to happen. And so we gathered in the parking lot of Mary Queen of the Holy Rosary off Clays Mill, and we honked for housing, 200 households strong, and got that funding restored. And then we kept going. So we kept pushing, and we got money from the American Rescue Plan, and we kept going. And now, as of 2 years ago, there's a dedicated funding source in the city budget, putting over 500 families a year into affordable housing. And all of that is possible in Build because people are sharing stories, and then they're coming together across all sorts of different spiritual traditions, belief systems, really ways of being, to say, your Sunday service looks different than my Sunday service, and we're both here because we want to love Lexington better. We have people here that we love who deserve better. And so I am so grateful to be with you all here today. I'm so happy that you all are a part of Build. I want to give you a chance to put in your phone or your calendar or whatever it is. Next Tuesday, April the 1st, is the rally where we're preparing for our big Nehemiah Action. I would encourage all of you all to be there. We're going to be preparing, sharing updates on the research we've been doing on our 3 current issues: renters' concerns, elder care, and transportation. So we're talking about those 3 problems. And then being in community together and preparing to make Lexington a city with a lot more love in it. So thank you all for letting me be a part of your Sunday. And thank you. Yes. I so appreciate it. Tuesday, April the 1st, 7 p.m. at Mary Queen off Clays Mill Road. Yes. And May 6th is at Central Bank Center downtown, 7 p.m. yeah.
If I come to those things, I would have to have a wait,
Yes, so I'm going to, yes, let's take a moment to give some love to Mary Kate and all she does for Build. So, if you are interested in finding out more, we have committed to 10 people being there April 1st in 2 days and 30 people being there May 6th. You can see Kathy Jones. She has a sign-up sheet. She will make sure she follows up with you, helps if you need a ride, if you need to know the when, the where, the why. You can see Kathy afterwards, and Ron and Kathy are the ones kind of leading this initiative on our community, but they're looking to expand to a team of about 8 people who are regularly involved in the Build initiative throughout the year. So, I mean, talk about faith in action, right? That's what it's all about. So grateful for Build, and to know that as part of committing to be in Build, not only is the people power, but we do also give and pay dues to support their having a staff like Mary Kate, because as you know, with many volunteer organizations, that's a lot to carry. So to be able to, the communities pay dues to have staff that can be doing this full-time throughout the year to really make these things possible. And then it takes the rest of us showing up and participating. So we're now going to move into our conscious giving and know that we are giving to Build today as well. And if you would like to give above and beyond what you're giving to Ahava, specifically to Build in the name of love of Ahava, you can do that as well. I would say see Kathy so we can kind of funnel any extra donations to Build through Ahava to Build. Does that make sense? Okay. But direct, yes. So let us now repeat after me. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I joyously contribute to the vision of Ahava, knowing it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. Yes.
Love is my source.
Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need.
Joy is my source.
Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need.
Love is my source.
Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Love gives me everything I need. Love gives me
Everything I need.
Yes. Woo woo. So today is Potluck Sunday. We invite you to stick around even if you didn't bring anything. There is more than enough always, and you can contribute by helping to clean up afterwards. That is your contribution. Yes. It takes many hands, right? So a couple of things after the potluck today. We are having our collective healing circle. Please stick around for about an hour. It's an opportunity to sit in circle and just kind of share what's going on in your life, how perhaps things in the current administration, culture changes have affected you or may affect you or your community members. It's a chance, or your family and friends, to talk about that, perhaps move into some ideas of how we can support each other, and then we're going to move into some spiritual practice so we can ground it all in love. It'll be about an hour from, we'll see, about 12:30 to 1:30 after the potluck today. And then also save the date for the embodiment workshop coming up in April. If that moment of embodiment is a little uncomfortable for you, this is an opportunity to learn more and to practice in a safe space and perhaps make it a little more comfortable. Also, we are super excited to welcome back special guest Mitch Barrett. He is one of our favorite local singer-songwriters from Berea, and he will be here on Easter Sunday, April 20th. So save that date, invite your friends and family. We have some more fun stuff coming up, like a book study in May, and we'll be sharing those details soon. So also check out the website and various places for our ongoing events, or take a picture now to get plugged into the various offerings we have. And know that we have spiritual practitioners here to support you in prayer. Today, Patty will be available in person. You can also leave a prayer request in the prayer box or online. So let us now stand, if you're able, and repeat after me our benediction. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. It's this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in my affairs. I accept it. I am it. And I share it. Just the way it appears, and just the way it appears not. Thank you, life. Yes. And let us now chant Om Shanti. Om meaning God, presence, the one life. Shanti meaning peace. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. 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 Peace inside my mind, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside my mind, God and only God I live to see. Peace inside my mind, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside my mind, God and only God I live to see. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. 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 Let's eat, y'all. Happy Sunday.